G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Look, it's 13 to 23, so the nights aren't too cool, but look, it's cloudy today, a little bit cloudy, and those who've been watching the channel for a long time, you know that the shed here expands and contracts. So when the sun comes out, it expands and you hear it creak, snap, crackle and pop like rice bubbles, and then when the clouds come over again, it contracts and snap, crackle and pops again. So I believe with my sound equipment now, I can get rid of most of that. But yeah, look, it's not too bad of a day. It's Tuesday morning now. I'm just on my, well, I've just returned actually from a mission, pick up a tractor mission. Now, one of my long-time followers, Richard Burgess, he contacted me, and he had a 1956 TED 20 that he got 7 years ago and started to do a few jobs on, but then, yeah, sort of lost interest for one reason or another, didn't get round to it, and as age catches up on him a little bit, he made the decision that he wouldn't go ahead with it, so he offered it to me for Bundy Bear's Shed. So I've been out there, had a yarn with Richard, bought him a nice bottle of port, and we've done a bit of a deal. And so now on the trailer, I've still got it on the trailer, I haven't taken it off yet, and I've got a little old TED 20. So it looks like it was probably from the Booyan, yeah, probably the Booyan Rural Fire Brigade. It's got Rural Fire Brigade on the side, and he said something about it was putting out fires just before he got it. But yeah, so anyway, we'll have a bit of a look at that later, a bit of a walk around. He started restoring it, or he started buying parts for it, and he bought some, oh, make a bloody junk and dust in my eyes. Some of the parts he bought some off Queensland Tractor Spares, and he went down to Gordon Ellis, and the front axle cradle where the pivot is for the trunnion pin for the front axle support, it's all rusted out on the tractor. So he'd been down to Gordon Ellis and bought a new one. Look at me new torch. I got these off Temu for $11 or something, 2 of them, and they're magnetic this way. So on the end there, they're magnetic, and they're also magnetic on the pocket clip. So you can put it there, and I'm always looking for bloody, I have a couple of torches here, and look, I'll find them one day, or the kids will find them when I'm bugging, but I've had a couple of good ones. I still have the 2 Sparex ones, which are good, but I took a bit of a shine to those ones, so for $11 or something I bought them. But yeah, back to the TED 20, I think I'll just read you out the serial number. I haven't even looked it up yet. Richard said it was a 56 model, I'm sorry. And the serial number is TED 434638. And I see on the transmission a little something like 2826, I think, February 6. So anyway, I'm yet to confirm that, but he'll know. And some of the parts he bought I find quite interesting. Like he threw in like a Bearco ignition kit, like a B12345, and this is the ignition kit with the brand new Bearco distributor in it. Now look, I've had the electronic ones of these, and I've had a really good run out of them, but the points distributor, I've never seen that as much of an option. And look, the only reason is because in years to come, people won't know that this is a Bearco distributor. And look, they seem to be made nicely and everything. Like, you can't complain about that. But you're going to have to know in times to come that it has a different set of points to other stuff and things like that. So, selling parts for years, we did have trouble with people. They'd hop online, they'd buy a set of points for their TEA 20, and then they'd be ringing up going, "Crook, this doesn't bloody fit." And you say, "Send us a picture of your distributor," and they have one of these on. So with no trouble, we can, Bearco supplies points for them and all, but But I did have a good long run out of the Bearco electronic distributors, and Dino, Queensland Tractor Spares, still sells them. Look at Dino's new sign up there, will you? Woohoo! Hey, that's a bit fancy. So yeah, even though I don't own Queensland Tractor Spares anymore, Dino and Nikita, we work in with them. They're good people. And some of the other things that came with the tractor are, you know, the banjo bolts for the tap on the fuel tank, and you know, a fuel tap restoring thing from Quality. That's Quality Tractor Parts 62129 and 1850167 for the bolts. And another thing I don't mind, even though they're not the correct length for everything, is the Bearco spark plugs. The part number is B7399. Talking to Alan one day, and they're a slightly hotter plug than was standard. They should have different reaches. You know, your petrol, I believe, has a short reach plug. Your TED has a long reach plug. These are neither your arse nor your elbow there. They're sort of a bit in between. But look, I run these in my forklift and everything. You know, I just reckon they're a good plug. So, and a set of leads. So that came with the tractor. So I've just got them inside here at the moment, putting them away. The other thing that came with it was a brand new fuel tank. The other fuel tank's not there at all. And this is a Sparex, I think it's 42414 might be the part number. And I've never actually bought one of these for myself, and I was interested to come inside here and actually sit the TED fuel tap up against the ports and see if it lined up. And look, it looks like it does. I've got a Sparex fuel tank, and I suppose I just have to make sure these are flat, you know, flat with there to make sure it seals. But look, it looks good. But I've got a Sparex fuel tank in my TEA 20, the little brown tractor that's still in its working clothes. And look, it's fine, but the only problem with them was that on that tractor particularly, the paint bubbled up and in no time flat. And you can see the paint starting to come off there. There was a little bubble there, and I just flicked it, and you can see there's no primer, no nothing under it. So on the TED 20, when I lift the bonnet, it looks like the fuel tank's got measles. It's yeah, all these little places where the paint didn't take. So look, I suppose I have the facility to do it. I probably should sandblast it, you know, block up all the holes and sandblast it and get back to bare metal. But look, for this tractor, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Like Richard said, was I going to do it up or use it for parts or whatever, but I hate doing tractors for parts. The original TED 20, like the barn find, let's get it going, that I got running, it's out the back, and I've nicked parts off it, you know, for other people, and I've had people in trouble, and just borrow the carby off this, and they give you a part back, but I've never bothered to go back and do it. So the TED that I got going years ago with the Ford bonnet, look, it's more or less a parts tractor now, and I don't like that particularly. And I always had a plan of just bringing it in and getting it running, and you know, putting a bonnet on it and keeping it going, but it's never happened. You know, life's busy. But the other thing that came with this tractor was a new radiator, and look at that. It's an aluminium one, full alloy. So it's got the outlets on it and all. The cap, the cap. It's a proper pressurised cap with an overflow, and looks like it's been all TIG welded up. And I've seen these for sale around, but I've never actually looked at one. It has a series of holes in the side here for the radiator shroud. Like whether that lines up, I don't have a clue. Down the bottom there, it's got the slots to put it in. There's a few grind marks down there, so I don't know if they don't quite fit. But look, all in all, it does look good. Yeah, the welding's nice on it. You know, they've cleaned up. There's no spatters everywhere or anything like that. So, yeah, it says BN2005. That might be a build date, I don't know. But yeah, I found that interesting. Like I say, I've seen them online. I've never had a thing to do with them. So I'm sort of interested to see that and see how it goes. but I'll have to get the tractor in and sort it out. The Farmall 100, I got that drawbar at the show last weekend, and I'm halfway through. I have a piece of steel in the lathe, and I've bolted it. I'll take the camera for a walk shortly. I've bolted it under the back of the Farmall to make sure it fits, and it does. It's quite low, but the Farmall high crops had a lower drawbar than the standard ones, and so I've got to get some bolts and make some bushes and all that, and then I'll try and give it to Kempies, see if they can replicate the side bits with the rust in them. And we could probably even lift it up a little bit, wouldn't matter. But yes, I've been doing that. I've been cleaning up the shed, and you may see that, look how tidy that bench is. Woohoo! And this is the 65 diff. Now, I've just got all the parts I've had tucked up the end of the bench there for the diff. I'm just running through them all. You know, I have all the gears ready to go. This one gear on the diff lock side, it has a bit of wear on the teeth, but I'm going to go with that, like with a little sandblast up. That'll be fine for what we do. Thrust washers, spherical thrusts. These spherical thrusts are okay. They might be a little thin, but they're still, for what we do, it'll be fine. Now, I've found over the years with these spherical thrusts, do not buy aftermarket ones. I got caught one time when I had the workshop years ago now, and I did a diff up for a fella. I bought brand new aftermarket spherical thrusts, and I hadn't noticed that the colour of them was a little more copper than brass. So yeah, where these ones are a brassy colour, they're a bit more coppery, and the penny didn't drop with me at the time. But I did the tractor up, did the diff up for the fella, and look, a month later he said, "Look, I've got some bloody copper or brass or something in the oil." And I thought, "Oh, hang on." So I went out and had a look, and that's what it was. The copper content in the aftermarket spherical thrusts for behind your spiders, they were just too soft, and they just pushed out, and no damage done, but of course the backlash was way too much because they'd pushed away further. So yeah, so just a tip from me: if you're doing a diff up, do not buy aftermarket spherical thrusts. Doesn't matter what brand they are, just go and get genuine ones or good second-hand ones. They often get a little bit worn, you know, a little bit thinner, but look, they'll be fine, you know, so don't worry. So yeah, I've got the 65 bits out. I've got the CRC brake cleaner there ready. I'm cleaning bolts and cleaning threads, and I'm just taking it easy, sitting on the stool here, buggering about. I've been lumping that crown wheel around, and last night I had a bloody sore back just above my arse, and look, just from that. But I do need to take that out yet and give it a final clean and bring it in and get the cameras set up and all that. So we're starting on the 65. I am tempted on the TED 20 to do a barn find series on it. Let's get it going and just see what we have there. But like Jude said, you've got enough on the go now without bringing something else in, so that might be a bit later. But I've got to put a pinion bearing on the 65. I want to put the crown wheel together, bolt all that up, get that okay. I've got the final drive apart. You can see the axle and the planet carrier here. And I was only going to film one final drive and work out how to do it all and how to film it, and it's quite tricky actually to have the right tools to do it and get it set up properly, so I've got to try and work out how to film that. So we'll just have to see, I suppose. But yeah, look, sit tight. I'll grab the camera. We'll go for a little walk around this tractor I just picked up, just because it's a bloody tractor and it's a tractor channel, so hopefully you're interested. And yeah, we'll have a bit of a look about, eh? Okay, so before we go outside, you can see the bars. Oh, you can't see much here, can you? The bars coming down, and then this drawbar, it sort of sits on the bottom, and these big holes up here, that's what I'm making a bush for. And then you have all these holes in the back here, and depending on what you wanted to do, what height you wanted, you could have it up or down or something like that. So I'm just going to try and keep it level. Yeah, keep it level so I can put something in it and tie it all down. I've had to take the step off up there to do that. So yeah, so that's just a little work in progress. It's not a big job. I'm planning on taking this tractor to Kangaroo, so nothing major is going to happen. I just want to know that everything fits and it's the right drawbar for the job before I get too carried away. Okay, if we come out here, this is a little TED, the Ruhr Fire Brigade. She's got fats on the front. I think they've re-welded Land Cruiser rims or something like that on them. Yeah, look, I'm just not sure. They're split rims inside. The tyres on the back, look, they'd hold something up okay. Looks like it's got the wrong distributor in it with a, it's a Lucas distributor, but it has a vacuum advance in there. So that might be why they bought a new distributor. It has an oil line going up there. I got it into gear okay. Looks like the clutch pedal's been bent backwards quite a bit. The bonnet would need chucking. Rims are all okay, they look good. The linkage arms are rubbish. It's even got a thing on the top there. That was the thing they put on for the slasher, just so, yeah, just so it wasn't a solid top link. It's got the old crown wheel and pinion brakes. The levelling box has been welded up, the seat's rusted out. Yeah, it's got a Zenith 24T. I thought being 56 it might have had the 28G, but anyway, that doesn't matter. Yeah, but look, just a little starter tractor. You can see the rust down in here, but he's actually supplied a new front pivot, like I said. So what we do with it, I don't know. I think it would be a good little challenge to get going again. Yeah, just to have it running, just to run it and see. But yeah, I've got to get all the straps off and get it sitting so we can see what happens. But in the side of the ute here, there's the old radiator with the shroud, the water pump. This is a new front axle pivot that he bought off, a front axle support that he bought off Gordon Ellis. And yeah, buddy pulleys and things like that that you end up with when you play with old tractors. So there you go. The bonnet's not the best one I've ever seen, but you know, the price was right, and yeah, we couldn't let it go to scrap or anything like that. So there you go, that's a little walk around the tractor. Look, the shop's pretty tidy. I've swept floors, I've cleaned benches, I've mucked around. I have a heap of grease and oil cans, you know, memorabilia stuff up in the top there, and my mate Laurie, I went to his place the other day to see if he was having a bit of moline trouble, you know, with his Minneapolis, and I thought, oh, going past, I'll drop in. I went up the shed, the club shed up at Mullet Creek, and myself, Alan and Diane were sitting in the shed, just having a yarn, on camp chairs, and Rob went past in a tractor, and yeah, sometimes sheds vibrate. Well, the shed vibrated, and I thought, oh, it must be the bloody tractor. That seemed a loud vibration. But then we had that earthquake and the ground moved, and we're all just sitting there, and no bullshit, I was just sitting there and my chair was going, you sort of, you're nearly a bit dizzy because everything's moving on you. And yeah, I'd never experienced that before, probably went for, look, I don't know, 10 or 20 seconds maybe. But yeah, it shut us all up and we were all looking, what was that? And yeah, Rob come back in and says, was that an earthquake? And we said, oh mother, he must have been. And we didn't know there'd been one. And yeah, he reckons on one of his sheds, the doors were swinging in and out, you know, just off they were hung on the top without a track. And yeah, he said they were swinging in and out and all that. So yeah, I've never experienced that before. But yeah, it's quite eerie. Like, and we're on a big slab, like the shed's about the size of mine here. And just sitting on a camp chair on it, and the whole slab was moving. And no, I went around later to have a look if there was any cracks or anything, and there was nothing there, but certainly it was an experience. Yeah, I've never experienced it before, so anyway, yeah, live and learn. That was that was just something a bit different happened in the week. And then I called in to see Laurie, and Laurie's got a lovely collection of mainly farm-related garage memorabilia, as in oil cans, 1 gallon tins, grease tins, you know, the £1 grease tins, soft drink stuff. And look, it's just, he's got a lovely collection. So my old mate Cyril C let me have a heap of stuff. Well, the family was going to chuck it, and they chucked it in my ute if they thought it looked okay. And there was gallon cans and grease cans and all that sort of stuff here. So Laurie came out yesterday, day before, and on Sunday Laurie came out, and I said, "Oh, just take what you like, you know." But he had to give me something for him. I didn't want anything for him, but you know, he gave me something for him, and it's like this tractor. Yeah, Richard didn't want anything for it, but I gave him a little something just to, just in thanks, you know, to appreciate the deal, sort of thing. So yeah, the rest of the stuff up there. Laurie come back yesterday because we forgot 1 can, a Pope petrol can or something like that. But yeah, next time Kempies are over, they're building the shed, so you know, I might see if they want some. So Russell, he'll be able to let me know if he's interested in any or not. But yeah, it's old Ampols and BPs, and you know, they're really early old company stuff. But they were just getting chucked out. So Laurie's taken what he didn't have in his collection, and yeah, where there's 2 or 3s, he's left them here. So we'll see. So anyway, look, enough from me. I'm hoping to get a video out on this diff this week. I have no plans for the rest of this week. Now the NHMA rally, which is the big Australian rally, is on. It starts this Friday, Saturday. I think it goes from the 23rd to the 31st. And we're going to try and get there this weekend, but at the moment, Ali, Tim's missus, young fella's missus, she's had to go to Sydney for training for a new job. So Jude's picking up kids and taking Freya to the doctor today and doing all stuff. So we're on kid duty. We're supposed to have a committee meeting about next Wednesday here, but yeah, look, I think I'd rather go and be... I think if I don't get down to the NHMA and have a look while it's here, I won't get there. So I think I just need to take some time out through the week next week and go and have a look and say good day to Jeff. And you know, I've got a heap of mates down there, Emma Ritson and people like that. Just go and say hello, wander around for a chat and look at all the gear. I think I'll be disappointed if I don't. So yeah, we'll just have to see how all that goes. But it looks like we'll be all right for kids next week after Tuesday. I think Wednesday morning we might have, anyway, I'm not sure. So anyway, so hopefully if you're going to the NHMA, it'll probably be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or something like that. We've bought 2-day passes. We're not going to take anything down there. We just can't get there to do that as things turn out. But we will get down there for a chat and say good day. So anyway, I'll probably talk about that in the next stew, and yeah, look, we'll just sort it out from there. So have a good week, everyone. Thanks for dropping by, and yeah, look, we'll catch you all next week, eh? See ya.